What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we have some gameplay of Prowler, but before we get into it, let's quickly read his abilities. So first off, he is immune to bleed, incinerate, and also he gains extra block proficiency during the opponent's special attacks, which is really good. And then he's also immune to falter and has more ability accuracy. That's pretty much for like dominoes, but immune to falter, I don't think we've seen anyone immune to falter, which is definitely interesting. And then another thing I don't think we've ever seen, he does benefit from color tech mastery, which is basically like the tech mastery for Mystic Dispersion, you know? And if you have that, for each point you get critical damage rating, which is cool. You know, I'm not going to showcase color tech because I don't think it's really common, so probably more realistic if I don't showcase that, but some people do run that. Then his medium attacks do not make contact and cannot be evaded, which is really nice. He also has like his special one where he gets, I don't know what the buff is called, the pursuit passive, which basically doesn't let them evade. So if you have someone that evades all the time, you can build up to the special one by doing mediums and they're never going to evade, and then you can do whatever you want with that pursuit passive. Then when Prowler lands a critical hit, instead he inflicts a rupture passive, dealing crit damage the hit with a delt. So basically like, you know, Guardian, where if he crits, he does some red damage. Same thing with Prowler here, where you just inflict a passive rupture instead. Now, his second medium attack gives him some nice utility, where he inflicts a falter passive on the opponent for 3 seconds, which is paused during his specials. And if you were to, you know, get hit while the opponent is faltered, it will have a 10-second cooldown. And if Prowler's special attacks would be punished, he inflicts a falter passive for 1 second. So this is good for defense. Honestly, I think that's gonna make him a little bit annoying, where you just need to like parry him all the time to get those openings instead of the specials. And the nice thing about this is that the opponent is more aggressive, which allows you to do your rotation, which we're gonna get into once we go for the fights. Now the power creep charges, basically he's like ramp up, but it doesn't take too long. So after the opponent activates a special attack, power drain the remaining power and inflict a power lock passive for 1.5 seconds after the final hit of their attack. And for every 1.1% of their opponent's max power that is drained, you gain 1 power creep charge. So basically what you want to do here with Prowler is bait the opponent's special attacks when they are close to getting to another bar of power. So basically, if you want to bait a special 1, try and push them like below their special 2. And then when you activate your specials, you convert those power creep charges into Fury passives for 10 seconds. Now our heavy attack, if the opponent has 0 power, our final hit inflicts an incinerate debuff, which is huge for our damage, because if a personal rupture expires on an incinerated opponent, it explodes, dealing extra physical damage. So, you know, you want to stack those ruptures. Having that incinerate is going to make them detonate again and deal more damage, which is really cool. And remember, you place a rupture every time you would crit. And then for a special one, like I said, we get that pursuit passive. We place a taunt on the opponent, and it also doesn't grant power. And the special 2 refreshes and pauses all personal ruptures until the final hit of this attack. This is the attack that deals the damage. It also inflicts rupture passive for each hit. And then the special 3 is basically for longer fights. But honestly, I don't think Prowler is meant to be used for longer fights, to be honest. So basically what the special 3 does, it gives you 50% combat power rate, and it doesn't allow you to throw a special 2 or a special 3. So basically you get to 3 bars of power, and then pop that special 1, and then you have a special 2 ready to detonate some nice damage. So now let's get into the gameplay. So this is the 200k health pool Cyclops, and here we're going to explain his rotation. So what we're going to do is push him close to 2 bars of power, but not quite 2 bars of power. We're going to bait a special 1, but he's going to be close to the special 2. And we're going to do that to get as many power creep charges as possible, and then convert those into Furies. So as you can see, we already got 29, we're betting 1 special, and 30 is the cap. So here what you want to do is basically bait that out. Go for your medium to falter the opponent. Go for a heavy, because now he's got 0 bars of power. We are going to inflict the incinerate, and then we pop the special 2 with the falter still there, because with his awaken ability you get an extra, you know, critical chance when the opponent is faltered. So that's basically what you want to do. You want to have the falter when the opponent, or sorry, when you throw that special 2, so that most of your hits crit, and then you apply more ruptures, and then they detonate thanks to that incinerate. So the things you have to look out for Prowler: have an Incinerate before your SP2, and also try to throw your special 2 when the opponent is faltered for that extra critical chance. So we're gonna do the same thing here. 29 charges again. Really cool. He feels really fast, this guy. So go for that SP1 taunt, and we're gonna bait this out, I believe. Yep. Medium into a heavy attack. Place that Incinerate. Here we're not gonna have the falter, so we're not gonna get the additional critical rating, so we're not gonna inflict as many ruptures here, but it still does some decent damage. But like I said, Prowler isn't really the type of champion where you just want to use him in longer fights, and this is like close to 700k health, so he's gonna be a little bit slower than normal. But yeah, he feels really quick. His utility is kind of nice. And here I'm gonna go for medium into a heavy because he has 0 power. Pop that SP2 with the falter, and you're gonna see more damage here because we're gonna crit a lot more ruptures, and boom, once they detonate, some nice 39,000 damage. Not too bad. I also gave him this Sentinel relic because it has a chance to pause Incinerates with your basic attacks. You might actually spot that, and yeah, it definitely helps because you want to have the Incinerate just to like detonate your ruptures, and that's gonna do it. So, you know, it took some specials here, but it was actually not that bad. Let's see, I think it was like a minute or something. That was a minute and 23 seconds for like 700k health. Not bad. Now we're going to showcase him in a longer fight, which you're going to see he is going to be a little bit slower. But here you're going to see the special 3 rotation, which is meant to be used for longer fights. So our special 3 is going to allow us to throw special 2s with 60 Furies, because it allows us to bypass that limit of 30. I really like his falter. Like, my favorite thing about him is definitely his falter, but also the power drain, like of their remaining power, and also power locking after that. It's kind of cool, man. Like, it's really nice. It's kind of like a power drain utility, you know. So there we go. The special 3 here, what it does, sorry about that, I'm gonna showcase the animation. What it does is basically they get a power efficiency. So that means when they throw a special attack, no matter how much remaining power they have, they are always going to give you 30 of those charges. As you can see here, he threw a special 1, and he didn't have too much power left to power drain, but he still gave us 30 of those power creep charges. So it's really easy to ramp up after the special 3. You don't even have to try. So here I don't want to consume my falter yet, so that's why I ended with a light combo. So yeah, here I think we're going to go for the special 3, but of course we cannot throw it. We're just going to go back to back into special 1 and special 2. So inflict that falter, and then go for that heavy attack. And before the falter drops, pop that special 2 with 60 Furies, because we did a double conversion, thanks to that SP1 and the special 2 immediately. And that wasn't bad. Like, we almost got him to, like, yeah, there we go, 70%. So we took 30% of his health in like 1 special 3 and like 2 special attacks. That wasn't too bad. So yeah, he's kind of cool for those longer fights. But honestly, I wouldn't use him in like a really long fight, because you have to sit through that SP3 animation, and then you also have to build up to another 3 bars of power to do your like crazy good rotation. So yeah, I think Prowler is a type of champion for shorter fights for sure. But yeah, his utility is kind of nice. He doesn't crit. He's got that nice falter, which can help you for the opponent's specials, because it's easy to bait specials, because you can either apply the SP1 taunt, and even if you don't do that, there's a high chance they throw their special because they are more aggressive when you have that falter on. So here we try to do the same thing here, but thankfully he still had 0 bars of power, so we just inflict the falter a bit delayed there, but we still have the falter on him. And some nice crits, 7 ruptures, boom, they're gonna explode. 58,000. Much better, eh? Instead of like 39,000, we got 58,000 with those extra 30 Furies. And then we're just basically gonna need 1 more of that special 3, and then SP1, SP2, and he's pretty much gonna die. So yeah, Prowler is actually pretty simple. I like that different rotation where you just power drain it to 0, go for that Incinerate, and then you just explode those ruptures. And the cool thing about this, no one is immune to ruptures. I think only the new Spider-Man is gonna be immune to ruptures. So yeah, or I guess you can't even use it for Scorpion, but you probably wouldn't really want to use it for Scorpion anyway. There we go. We also have the relic here available if we need it. I think the Sentinel one is probably the best one for him, just because it just paused that interior. As you can see, that the pause is there. So I go for the SP1. We're gonna try and power drain him here. We're gonna go for that heavy attack, really cool. And then medium into the falter. SP2 with extra juice, critical damage or rating, and boom, he's just gonna explode. So yeah, it took a while to take 1.5 million. Like I said, he's one of those champions where you just ramp up and then you basically waste your ramp up and then you just gotta ramp up again. He's not like, let's say, Kate Bishop, where you just, we just refresh everything. You don't have to like reapply them. But yeah, I think Prowler is gonna be a decent champion. I don't think he's gonna be insane. I don't think he's bad. I just think he's gonna be alright for shorter fights. Like, I can see him being good in Battlegrounds for sure, because most of the fights don't last too long, so you don't even need to go for Special 3. You might have to go for like 2 Special 2 rotations, but honestly, it makes it really fast because the opponent is actually aggressive for the most part because you just falter them all the time, and through your falter, you can also get extra openings. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think about Prowler, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.